You're listening to the City World Radio Network, high-definition digital radio broadcasting from the city to the world. www.cityworldradio.com.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time once again for the Johnny Mandolin Show, broadcasting live on City World Radio Network. I have a wonderful show tonight. I have a special guest coming up, Miss Laura Madsen, movie actress, writer, model. You're going to love her. She's great. And we got a lot of fun because we're on City World Radio Network. What's not to have fun? So thanks, our audience. Thank you for here, and we're enjoying you. And thanks for being here. So stand by for the Johnny Mandolin Show. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's our theme song, Anello's Blues, and that's my pop on the sax. Doc Anello just wailing away. Having fun here on the Johnny Mandolin Show. You know, we broadcast every Monday night at 8 o'clock here on the Johnny Mandolin Show at City World Radio. We have so much stuff going on. We are actually moving to a brand new studio, custom-built studio. So it won't be any different for you, our listeners, because you'll hear us live and local and on the air all over the world, but we have a brand new studio that's being built for us. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to that. We got some great new shows coming up, too. We have some new talk shows, we have some new music shows, and we have some new late-night shows on the edge, so we're going to have a lot of fun on this network. It's always fun. And, of course, we have Jade on the board, who's our wonderful engineer and keeps us on the air and honest. We have live shows for you all night long. After me, Frank Rothstein up front with Frank, and then we go to Los Angeles for Garage Mania. There's a lot of things going on. You know, you can always call in on the show and be part of our show live. It's 212-631-7553. I'm going to read that number again. Write it down. 212-631-7553. You can call in and be part of our show. And you can write to us at cityworldradio@aol.com. cityworldradio@aol.com. All right, so without any further ado, I want to bring to the mic a very talented woman who I had the pleasure of meeting at a great party thrown by a good friend of ours in memory of a very good friend of mine, Cha-Cha, who passed away last year. And her name is Miss Laura Madsen. Welcome to City World Radio.
Hey, Johnny. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Laura is a movie actress. She is a model. She is a writer and a very creative person. You're going to learn all about her tonight. So thanks for being on. You've been on radio before.
I've been on radio many, many times.
Great.
But I have to say, this is a lot of fun. I love that I'm sitting here. I'm looking out over New York City, and we're up pretty high. We're on the 8th floor.
Yeah, and we're broadcasting live.
And what a great introduction. I really love the music. It kind of relaxes you, gets you in the mood. And
Thank you. Well, I'm so glad you're in the mood because we're going to cross-examine you tonight. We want to hear all about what you're working on.
I love it. I'm in the hot seat. This is great.
You are hot seat tonight. So, Laura, we had the pleasure of meeting at Cha-Cha's, and
what a great night.
Yeah, it was just an incredible night, and we were talking. A very good mutual friend of ours, Vinny Pastor. It was his celebration, his birthday.
Well, it wasn't his birthday, but
his celebration.
Yeah,
celebrating something. Vinny, an actor who you've seen in movies and also on the Sopranos TV show, and just a very good friend of ours. And so Laura was there and partying with us all, and I was asking her about what she did, and she was telling me little by little about the things she did. I said, that's really great. You're working on all this stuff. And I said, you got to come on my show and tell us about it. So tonight you're going to meet Laura and hear all about her and what she's doing and how she is. So tonight I want to first, of course, welcome you to the mic, but also say, how did this all come together for you? Did you start as a child being an actor? How was all this born?
I didn't even in my wildest dreams think that I would ever start acting. And that's kind of like the latest thing that has come into my world. When I was younger, I loved to write. Sometimes you have a talent and you just fall into it and you discover it and you nurture it.
Absolutely.
And I really got started professionally with my writing. I would say I was almost out of high school, and I had some luck with that. My first piece was just kind of a little fluffy on fashion, and it was in what you would now know as Teen Vogue. And I was floored. Like, wow, really?
Published?
Yeah, it was incredible. And then time went by, and I kind of put it aside. Everybody said, go get a real job. You hear that when you're an artist, no matter what you do sometimes, whether it's music, writing, acting, modeling, go get a real job. So I did the real job thing, but it never quite fit right. It didn't feel right. And, life's going by, and I'm saying, there's something inside of me that's just I'm not embracing, and I think it's important for everybody to do that. So I started writing for other publications, freelance work. I still do that, and it's good. And I had some incredible luck that kind of kicked everything off. It's my starting point, and I owe it to him. You all know him as Jon Bon Jovi. He has a restaurant in Red Bank, New Jersey, and it's called the Soul Kitchen. So it opened a couple years ago, and of course, press all over the place, at the opening. But I said, I don't want to be out there competing with the Washington Post and trying to get my piece out. And no, let's wait. So a couple months after the restaurant opened, I worked through the proper channels. I dragged my girlfriend, Jen, along with me, and we went to the Soul Kitchen. And we're waiting outside for the doors to open. And she goes, Laura. I'm like, what? Turn around, and out of the back door of the Soul Kitchen is John. And he starts waving like, hi, how are you? And we're like, what? Is he waving at us? We walked into the restaurant, and that day they were filming the very first promotional video for his restaurant. And I also had the opportunity to talk to the Bon Jovi family and get a sense of what was going on with the restaurant a couple months in. Published the piece. His fan base, of course, loved it and supported it. And one of them had encouraged me to go off on my own. I said, I can't do that. I can't start my own publication, my own platform. What, are you kidding me? But I thought about it, and I took that advice. And I was blessed where so many of those people who had supported my writing previously just came on over and followed me from there. And that was the catalyst. That's how it all started.
And what was your publication, like a blog or a newspaper?
If you go, it's still there. It's TheLadyinRedblog.com. And I called it The Lady in Red. I said, I got to come up with some kind of name, right? What am I going to call myself? That's interesting. I had a friend that said, you look good in red. And so I said, well, maybe I'll just be The Lady in Red. That'll be like my pen name. And so that's what I called it.
That's the genesis of how that all got going?
That is a true story. And Jen, my friend Jen, who was with me that day when we were at John's restaurant, we joke about it. We say, hey, we were in a Bon Jovi video. Well, it's true. There's a different promo video on their website now. But if you go to my website, TheLadyinRedblog.com, and you go to my Awesome Moments page on it, you can see the original video.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Right place, right time.
It was amazing and wonderful. And, I just, that really started it for me.
And then, so what happened? I mean, obviously when you succeed at something, it opens doors to other things, but also you have to be there for it. You have
right. To... I mean, I could have made the choice, hey, I'm just going to be a one-hit wonder, and then walk away. But I didn't, because I loved writing, and I wanted to keep sharing things that inspired me with everyone else. It could be something personal to my life. It could be other people that I've encountered over the course of my journey, and I want to shine a little bit of light on them. And I continue to do that. A couple months after I launched my website, I had an invitation to go on radio. It was my first time on radio out of radio station WOND in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And I almost didn't do it. I was scared. I was afraid of failure.
You got cold feet.
And I don't know. I took the chance. I went on radio, and there was a lot of good feedback, thankfully. So I tried it, and I liked it. My grandmother would always say, try it, you'll like it, even if it was, food that she served. And if you don't, you never have to do it again.
That's right.
So I did many, many shows out of that station down there, and then I started bouncing around from station to station all over the country. Sometimes call in, sometimes I'd go to the studio, and I became a radio personality, and sometimes people will introduce me as Laura Madsen or The Lady in Red, and sometimes I'll co-host, sometimes I'll be a guest, and it's fun. I love doing both.
Yeah, radio, I always say, radio's like heroin, because, once you do it, it's like you're pretty hooked on it, and it's very habit-forming. So,
and this is going to sound very contrary to the trend out there. One of the most comfortable things that I find about doing the show right now is that we're not live streaming it. We're not on cameras. We're not on Facebook Live. I like the mystery. I like somebody closing your eyes, listening to the voices or the music, and it's almost like reading a book and allowing your imagination to engage.
Absolutely. Well, we don't like cameras. There are no cameras in the studio anywhere. We're not camera people. We're radio people. We like microphones.
And I might be a little old-fashioned that way, but...
We are.
That's just me. It's like I like taking a book to the beach. You know why? Because I don't have to worry about the battery just losing its charge or getting sand on it or scratching the surface or having sun glare hurt my eyes. It's just who I am.
I totally get that. Well, I grew up listening to radio all the time, and I wasn't much of a television fan, and we only had one TV in the house, and my sisters had commandeered the TV, but I didn't care because I had one of the very first stereos ever made, and I would sit in my bedroom and turn out all the lights, and the only light that would be emitting would be like the dial and the tubes. And everybody said, that kid's kind of weird, man. He's just sitting in there in a dark room listening to the radio. But I loved it. Still doing it now. So
yeah.
No, you're right. It is good for the imagination. And so let me tell my listeners that Laura, besides being very, very smart and very creative, is very beautiful, too. So let them think about that.
Well, if they want to see what I look like, if you're brand new to who I am, I absolutely welcome you to come over and check out my website, TheLadyinRedblog.com. You can find me on Facebook at A Lady in Red Who Writes. You can also find me on Instagram, TheLadyinRed, with underscores between the words. There are plenty of pictures out there with me. Basically, though, if you go to my website, you can find me everywhere. On Twitter, it's at @LadyinRed blog, and everything is kind of connected, works together, and you'll see photos of me with friends, celebrities, you name it, myself.
I think that's great. And I'm glad that you're out there so people can see you and meet you and read your writings and email you, etc. Now, after the Bon Jovi incident and opportunity, let's talk about some of the different projects you've started on, because I know you've done a lot of work.
Well, okay, so I'd like to fill in some gaps if I can. After my start on radio, I loved it, continued it, I continue to do it. People started asking me, hey, can you get me on radio? Can you write about me? And I started to. I'd go on a show and I would make a suggestion of somebody who was really talented, who I thought might be a good fit for a station, or I'd write about somebody who inspired me or I felt could inspire others. So I sort of became a publicist. But I found out pretty quickly that it's very hard to be a publicist for people that are sometimes just starting out in the industry, in the entertainment industry. Why? Well, because they sometimes aren't able to really pay you for your services. So, again, because of just a little bit of luck, a little bit of my perseverance, I started to work with some established clients in the entertainment industry, and I really enjoy that. I'm friends with most of my clients, and they are celebrity clientele, and it's led to other opportunities for me as well. I work with very few select film production companies, and then I represent the film. I get to work with some of the cast, and as a result, I had my very first part as an extra in a film.
Nice.
That it should be out for the world to see this year on, your major online platforms, Netflix, iTunes, all of that. It's called Who's Jenna? And it's a romantic comedy. It's by 624 Productions, directed by Tom Baldinger.
Wonderful. And that people will find that online and stuff?
Very soon. We're anticipating a release very soon. And so that was something else. I was working as a publicist for the production company. I've never, ever dreamed about being on camera, acting, anything like that. So I was asked, would you like to be an extra? And I said, okay. And I did it, and I loved it. And I learned a lot by observing the other actors on the set who were very seasoned. And after that, I was offered another role in a short film called Thanks for Nothing by Red Hook Films. And that's not really out there or available. Sometimes you make a short film and it goes into editing for a very long time. But it was a very good experience. I had a lead in it. Now I had a couple months go by after that, and I was approached by a director, Larry Rosen, who gave me the opportunity to be in a horror film.
Nice.
As supporting cast. It's called Death at a Barbecue, and again, we're hoping for a release of this film this year, hopefully at some film festivals in New Jersey and New York. I enjoyed that film because I got to do a lot of ad-libbing. Most of the time you're given a script and a dialogue and you memorize it and you work at it and you bring the character to life. But I tried improv and I really liked it.
That's a lot of fun. You have to be very spontaneous and,
Yeah,
creative.
And cue off of the other people. And it was such a good experience. It was the first time I did anything like that. So then, I guess at the same time all of this was going on, I had become friends with an incredibly beautiful model through social media. Her name is Ashley Salazar. And she's posed for Playboy and Maxim and you name it. You can find her on Facebook. She's got millions of followers. And I guess we initially bonded over the fact that we're both single moms and have daughters around the same age. And she connected me with a photographer she had worked with. His name is Michael Abrams. Michael Abrams Photography, based out of New York City. And Michael is a wonderful man, and he had approached me. I have to say, over the course of 3 years, he kept asking me, Laura, I'd love to shoot you. I'd love to, take photographs of you. Now, if you're a woman and a guy comes up to you that you really don't know on social media or in person, I would say most of us are very skeptical that they're legit. Okay? So I was like, yeah, you want to take a photograph of me? I don't know about this.
Yeah, like some crazy guy saying, hey, come and be on my radio show. And you go, oh, yeah, sure.
I would say whatever it is that you do, investigate it. Research it a little bit. Never be too quick to say yes. So I had actually taken a look at some of Michael's work, and Michael's photographed beautiful, beautiful women, for Madsen, for Playboy. And then I started asking myself, well, why does he want to photograph me? What? I'm not somebody who's been doing modeling for years and been groomed in that industry. Finally, I said, okay, Michael, I've seen your work. I trust you. And we did our first photo shoot together. And to my complete surprise, they were published in the summer of 2015 in Miss Ooh La La magazine, which I was just amazed.
That's so great. I mean,
I was like,
what a great opportunity.
Yeah, and he is such a good photographer to work with. Like, he is available for hire also for shoots besides, working with, clients that are, like he's hired by magazines and such, but he can be hired by, aspiring models to do their portfolio and everything. And it's Michael Abrams Photography. I love him because he is so respectful and he is such a perfectionist.
That's great. Well, if somebody's taking a picture, it's a moment in time, like a headshot. That's your moment in time. That, it's preserved.
Yeah, but, again, I will speak from my personal experience here as a woman. To work with a photographer that not only cares about his craft, the lighting, how he's going to present you in the best way possible. Like, if your necklace is a little crooked, he'll fix it. But he's not going to just reach over and touch you. He'll say, is it okay if I touch you? It's so respectful and so professional. I can't say enough good things about him. So we did a subsequent photo shoot last summer as well, and we're going to shoot again this summer. I'm looking so forward to it. He's my go-to guy. He's my portfolio photographer.
That's great, and he's in Manhattan.
He's based out of New York City in Manhattan. I'm not sure if he still has a studio in Manhattan, but yes, he's accessible out of New York City and St. Louis, Missouri as well.
Wow, wonderful.
He travels. So that kind of, I guess, sparked some interest in the world of the entertainment industry. And then I was offered a role in a film, a feature film, my first feature film.
Wow.
A lead role that I'm currently still filming. It's called That's Life. It's a drama, and we're filming it in New Jersey. I guess we've filmed most of it, would be safe to say. It's written and directed by Sean Guess. And I'm thrilled. Like, I never thought in a million years I would be offered a role in a feature film, a lead role. What?
That's great.
So it's still very surreal to me, everything that's transpired over the past 4 years. I sometimes sit back and go, really? Like, but I think that everything happens for a reason. And I just kind of, I'm curious to see where it will all lead.
Well, I think you have to be open to the universe for things that come, down your way. But you also have to be proactive. You have to act on it. A lot of people get opportunities and never pursue it. A lot of people say, oh, I'd love to do this, be in this, act this, invent this, create this, write this, and they never do. So part of it is inspiration, part of it is perspiration. You got to get out there and do the work.
You're absolutely right. And sometimes as an actor, auditions will come your way. They'll say, hey, would you like to audition for this role? You'll have scripts sent to you, things like that. And even after you've done movies and after you've auditioned many times, I know I still get cold feet. And it was about a month and a half ago, I had an audition, and I felt oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? You know, this is going to be tough. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends who's always been very supportive, Gina Zavalas. She's also a singer. And somehow she got me to think about it. And I said, you know what? I have to audition. You know why I have to audition? Because there's a girl out in Kansas right now that would kill for this opportunity that I've been blessed with, that's been placed in front of me. I got to do it for her. If I don't, I'm not doing her justice. I'm not doing myself any justice.
Yeah.
Why not? See what happens.
Absolutely true. And like I said, the courage to take the move and to act on it and to be proactive, I find is a big part of it. And you could have said, no, I'm too afraid, or no, I don't want to be bothered, or no, I've got to go do this or that. And you opened yourself up to this opportunity, which then led to more.
I guess, we all have the conversations inside of our heads where we have self-doubt.
I just have voices in my head, but they're
right.
They're arguing.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Well, and the trick is how to overcome them in some way or shape, and I want to see what's in store for me, where it will all lead. I know, and I do believe everything happens for a reason. And, there's the story. I'm not an extremely religious person, but there's the biblical story of the burning bush. And I don't think that God intended to put signs in front of us that would scare us. I mean, can you imagine if you're walking down the street in New York City and all of a sudden, poof, something goes up in flames? I mean, that would pretty much scare
Sounds
you.
like my neighborhood. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. All right. But, I think that sometimes the signs that are put in front of us are a little more subtle than that.
Sure.
And if you really look for them and you pay attention to coincidences or opportunities that are given to you, it's just a little bit of a push that's saying, okay, you're on the right path. And I think the people that pay attention to those signs and opportunities are sometimes the most successful in life. And I'm not talking about success in terms of $1 billion, and in terms of money, but in terms of happiness.
Mm-hmm. And seizing that opportunity and going forward with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it. So you talked a little bit about your writings, and you love to write, and about your blog and some of the different things you've done. And as these opportunities were opening, and you saw, the acting come up, and you saw some other things come up, what were you ultimately saying in your head? What was going on when you looked at this, and did you say, yeah, I'm going to be a movie star, yeah, I'm going to be a writer, or did it just grow on you naturally?
I figured I would just try everything and see how it worked out. And if there was ever something I tried that I felt wasn't a good fit, I could just kind of, just leave it there and say, okay, it was something I tried. Like I tried, ice skating or kayaking or whatever it might happen to be. And, you give it a shot and you see how it goes. And I'm still finding out, who I am. Like a lot of people want to put just one label on me. And I can't, they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, how much time do you got? Because what I do keeps transforming. And I had another friend of mine ask me that question. He's like, well, you're a chameleon. I said, yeah, I kind of am. He's like, because what you do is constantly evolving and changing over time. And I looked at him, I said, you're right. And he says, and that's okay. If you think about a lot of people who have kind of been successful over generations, which I can only hope to be, think of maybe Madonna. She's changed her style, her songs, her looks, kind of who she is over time. And is there anything wrong with that?
I don't think so. I think most artists, as they learn to create and as they continue to create, they mature and they go in different directions sometimes, or alternate talents that they see growing. I don't think that's strange at all. And being a creative person like yourself, that's not at all a surprise. I think, again, a big part of it is being open to it and, getting off the couch and walking towards it, you know.
And, I think even if you're not in the entertainment industry or in the arts, I think the same kind of thinking could apply to many, many people. I know I have a 12-year-old little girl. Her name is Amanda. And in school a couple years ago, the teacher said, write what you want to be when you grow up. And she raised her hand. She goes, well, can I pick more than one thing? And the teacher said, no. She's like, but I want to be a mom. I want to be a chef. I want to be, a YouTuber. I want to be, all of these things. And she was upset about it. And she came home and I said, oh boy. And I said, I disagree with your teacher. I said, because even if you go to school and you go to school for whatever, you want to become an accountant or you want to become a teacher. I said, most people over the course of their lifetime have more than one job, more than one career. There are, many people out there. Yeah, great. Okay. You become a doctor and you're a doctor for the next 50 years and boom, and that's it. But there are so many people out there that have more than one job and wear more than one hat. Why not?
Absolutely. You're 100% right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're halfway through our show. You're listening to the Johnny Mandolin Show. Our guest tonight, the wonderful Laura Madsen, is here. We're going to hear lots more from Laura, so don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back. We're going to hear some great music by our engineer, Jade.
Sexy
Hey, that's from our engineer, Jade, who's a wonderful musician. Devil Don't Wear Prada. Check out Jade. What's your website, Jade? JadeZabrick.com, ZABRIC.com. Check out Jade. She is wonderful. We're back with Laura, and I want to remind you, you can call in and talk with Laura and be a part of our show at 212-631-7553. That's 212-631-7553. Call into the Johnny Mandolin Show and be part of our show live. We are broadcasting live, streaming out live. 44 countries are listening in. Hello, Italy. Hello, Germany. They're listening. So we love you. We love you. And, of course, Newark and Vegas and L.A. So that's great.
And New York.
And always New York. That's our number one place. So, Laura, we're back with you here. And we were talking on the break a little bit more about your movie and some of the things going on there.
So much going on. And, we also had a caller that I hope calls back. That will be really, really
callers,
cool.
call in. Call in, be part of our show.
So something else kind of surfaced over the past year to add to my whole repertoire. And I started to do Comic-Cons. They're like autograph shows, that they have here, there, and everywhere. Uh-huh. And I didn't see that one coming, and I love, love, love it too. I will be honest. The first Comic-Con that I did, I was worried. I said, nobody's going to come out and see me. You know what I mean? There are all these amazingly well-known people who have been musicians or actors or, models, all kinds of things. And I'm like, they're not going to come see me, and surprisingly, people did. And it was such an eye-opener. And it was not just that, it was touching. I had somebody come. I did Chiller last October, which is a Comic-Con in New Jersey. And I had one fan come up to me and say that he took a bus for like 3 hours to get there.
Wow.
And I was like, it really, I don't know. I loved it. I loved meeting people that actually, for whatever reason, maybe they liked somebody that I wrote about or somebody that I talked about, or maybe they like the shoes I wear or the fancy nails I get done or whatever it is. They took the time, so much of their time, to come and say hi to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Comic-Con is fun too because it really can get one-on-one, you and your fan, and you meet them face-to-face, not just an email or a fan letter, and they can talk to you and meet you and get to know you.
Yeah, give them a hug and connect the real person with the face or the Twitter handle or whatever has happened. And I've made some wonderful friends through social media and met wonderful, wonderful people that way.
That's great.
And then the other cool thing, like unbelievable, and this is a huge, huge shout out to actor Eddie Deason, who was in the movie Grease. He was actually at the table next to me when I did Chiller in October, and he kind of took me under his wing, and and I was like, what? I'm like, this is an actor who's done so much. And here I am, the new guy on the block. And, to have seasoned people just kind of, look out for you and show you the ropes and be nice to you. Oh, my gosh. Just amazing. Like I would say the big hearts that so many of these people have.
Yeah, that's great. And it is it's a great time to bond. And I've been to several Comic-Cons, not to sign or, do anything from the show, but just to be there and meet people. And oftentimes I find guests for my show and or sponsors. It's been really good.
Absolutely. That's something else I want to do. I want to keep doing them in the future. Get out there, meet more people. And, so that's been cool too. So who knows what's going to be next? Could be anything, right?
Yeah,
I'm ever changing, ever evolving.
That's good.
And I wanted to talk just a little bit more about the film That's Life that I'm currently.
Yeah, I was going to ask you more about that. Who's producing it, and tell us about the film itself.
Okay, so it's written and directed by Sean Guess. There are 2 production companies involved, I believe. You have to go to my IMDb page. Again, I'm Laura Madsen, and you'll find all of the work that I've done there as far as acting goes or representation as a publicist. Pretty much all the work. Some things aren't going to be on there. But anyway, I get to work with a wonderful cast of people. Some of them I learn from. Even tomorrow I'm going to be on set and I'm still learning from them. And I play Roseanne, and she is a single mom, so it kind of hits home close to me because that's who I am. And she meets someone at one of her Lean Watchers meeting, which is kind of like a Weight Watchers meeting, okay? She meets somebody new. And he is played by Matthew Gotchman. He plays the character Rick. And he lives in a house with his dad and his son. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but 3 women living under the same roof would not be an easy thing. 3 generations. So 3 guys living under the same roof, things got to get pretty interesting. And this is a drama, but I think there are, some comical elements that are introduced because Rick's dad, played by actor Bob Cleary, he's kind of aging and Alzheimer's setting in, and then he's got his son getting into trouble, and let's just say he's not growing oregano, So there's some interesting things that are happening over the course of the film, and now we've got a bunch of outdoor scenes to film, which we're hoping to knock out over the course of this month. So we're praying no rain. Not easy to film sometimes on the East Coast when you have the weather working against you.
That is so true.
So it's been a lot of fun on set, and I can't wait until we wrap. And hopefully this will come out of editing in time for a premiere in maybe the winter of this winter, 2017.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be really great, really great. It's been filmed a lot in the Asbury Park, New Jersey area. You'll see a lot of famous landmarks from that area in the film. And, just follow me if you can, because I'm positive, I'm going to be screaming all over social media about the premiere when it's time. I'm really excited about it, to work with these people.
That's great. So look it up and check it out, because that's going to be something worth seeing. Now, how about, what do you do in your downtime? How do you chill out, or what do you like to do to relax? And what's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite music?
Gosh. Well, I have a couple of indulgences that I love. Well, to relax, love getting my nails done. Love my nail girl to death, Jessica, over at Yes Nails in Raritan, New Jersey. Like, it's just the ultimate pampering experience. I am the girl who loves to be pampered. Like, I'll go for a great massage, mani-pedi, I am a girly girl. Very, very, very much a girly girl. I'm wearing jeans tonight, and I've got, 4-inch heels on. That's just who I am.
Noticed. I like that. It's very good.
I'm ultimate feminine girl, but that's okay. And I love spending time with my little girl. She's an actress also. And my little dog, Brisk.
Oh, what kind of dog?
He's a Yorkie.
Oh, nice.
Lots of high energy, but very, very cuddly. So we live normal lives too. I mean, we'll just, go to the park, go for a walk, that kind of thing. I love taking trips with my daughter to very warm tropical places, if at all possible.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I love warm weather, and hopefully someday that will be my almost full-time...
Your domicile.
Domicile, yeah, I would love that. And then, people say, okay, well, do you exercise? Like, what do you do, to keep in shape, or, anything like that? A lot of people work out. I will be perfectly honest. I don't work out. It's not my thing. I feel like a little mouse on a wheel running. If you put me in a gym, I kind of go a little stir crazy. So I get outside as much as I can. And if I'm walking, or I love to kayak, I love to ice skate. If I'm doing something where I am distracted and don't feel like I'm exercising, that's what I do. That's my exercising. I just feel like a lot better when I'm not caged in.
Do you have a favorite music that you like to exercise to, walk to, anything, or any particular ones that ring a bell?
I listen to music all over the place, but I like a lot of, it depends on my mood. I mean, we opened with sort of jazz.
The jazz, oh yeah, swing.
I love that. I love, soft jazz music. I love a lot of 80s music.
That's so much fun. How do you not love 80s music?
You got your Madonna. I love Madonna, George Michael, Michael Jackson, whatever. A lot of pop 80s.
It's great music.
And, freestyle, dance. It's really whatever I am in the mood for. And yes, I will admit that I guess the time when I love listening to music most is like when I finish something. Like I'll be working in my office, boom, I publish a new piece, or I'll complete something for a client, and I'll turn on the music.
Crank up the music.
Oh, yeah, and I'm dancing all over my office.
Yeah. No, I totally
if
get that.
my walls could talk.
I know. My mornings start with music. I mean, I got the razor out and the brush with the lather, and I'm shaving my face, and I hear Mr. Sinatra, doing the summer wind came rolling.
Okay, well, that's a good thing to be shaving too, because I was going to say, if you're going to like play something with a beat, you're dancing with the razor. I'm going, how's that going to work?
That doesn't happen. Never shave angry. That's men and women. Don't never shave angry.
Good idea.
Yeah, so I always have music on. A lot of I love stuff from the the era of the Italian Americans in the 50s, Frank Sinatra, Bobby Darin, Perry Como to Dean Martin.
If you listen to my iPod, you'd go, what is she thinking? Literally all over the place. But that's what the fast forward button was meant for when you're in the mood. And when I drive, I drive. I do a ton of driving all over the place, between Philly and New York and Jersey. And then I'm flying out to the West Coast every now and then. And driving is, just crank it up.
Music.
Oh, yes.
You have to have your driving theme. It's funny too, because a lot of people say, well, so you listen to Sinatra and Dean Martin and swing, and what do you listen to when you're really, you put on some Zeppelin or something, or some speed metal when you want to get up? And I said, no, actually I put on Vivaldi. I listen to, the Mandolin Concerto in G, or I'll listen to, something classical with a beat, some fugue, and that's me. But, everybody's got their own theme. And their own soundtrack, I'd say.
Yeah, their own soundtrack to their own life. And music truly resonates with every fiber of somebody's being, just kind of caps off the mood or inspires you, whatever, gets you going. So, yeah, that's me. Like, my favorite times for listening to music would be in my car, or, kind of a reward for when I've finished something major.
It's great.
Celebration.
It's great. Well, what's in the future? What do you see? What's your 5-year plan, or what do you see going on, or where do you want it to go going forward?
I want my life to continue to keep exciting me, and that's pretty open-ended. But I think I'd like it to start in small ways, like the next movie role that I would love. Like, for some reason, I've been typecast as the seductive girl next door, or the girl next door with a little bit of a seductive side, and that's cool. I'm totally fine with that. Sometimes more, I guess, I look a little bit Italian, or I look a little bit Latina. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. You know what? I'd love to play I want to play like the secret agent, or the villain who gets to wear like, the all black, the leather pants, toting the gun kind of thing. I would love a role like that.
That'd be fun.
Beyond that, and beyond just keeping my life exciting, of course, when I put on my celebrity publicist hat, I like to expand my, individual clientele base like that. But I will admit, I'm a Jersey girl, but I have, I guess, a strong desire to be someplace where it's warm all year round. And I guess I kind of have the California calling a bit, although I don't think I want to live there. I think I want to do the hop on a plane, quick commute kind of thing. I would love 5 years from now to be in the Southwest, like the desert Southwest, maybe Arizona, New Mexico, and then, just get on that commuter plane for a long weekend in California, or pop over to New York a couple times a year and work that way,
Yeah. Well, those are some beautiful areas. I've spent a lot of time in Las Vegas, and that was always fun. It's dry heat, as they call it, but it's, I remember, jumping in the pool in Vegas at the Tropicana Hotel, and by the time you get back to your Chase Lounge to lay down, you're dry because it's so dry there. But yeah, I like warm. I'm Sicilian, so I like warm climates are good. Although I do love New York, and having grown up here, it's partial for me. But I think that's really great. And do you see yourself continuing to write?
Absolutely. That's, I guess, my strongest passion that I have. I mean, I love everything I do, thank God, but what I'd like to do, the whole reason why I started blogging, which a lot of people, I guess, think of in a bad way now because I call them bedroom bloggers. Anybody who's got a computer keyboard and a screen in front of them can call themselves a blogger. But I've always described blogging for myself as writing about something by getting out in the world and sharing an experience or a point of view and not just what goes on in your own head all the time. So I started doing that because my daughter at the time, she was little. I didn't have enough time to sit down and focus for hours or days and write a book. But I've got these books spinning around in my brain. And ultimately, I'd love to be able to lock myself away for a couple weeks or a couple months and get them out of my brain and out to the world.
So write books. Do you see them as novels or mysteries or children's books? Or what?
Some I see. One novel that I actually had started is going to be fictional, but based on a lot of experiences that I've had over the course of my lifetime. And then the other one is probably going to be more autobiographical and truthful about some of the amazing people that I've encountered along the way, that I've met.
Can't ask for more than that. That's a beautiful goal. I mean, I can see you doing that, and I know your love of writing would encourage you to.
And the autobiographical one, that book is still being written.
There you go. It's in progress.
It's in progress, and there are so many beautiful moments. I mean, some that I've written about publicly, but others that I haven't, that I would love to be able to share with the world, and not in the TMZ slanderous kind of way. No, I'm not that, but more of a kind, compassionate, what an amazing opportunity I had to meet this person kind of way. I'll give you an example. You had mentioned in the beginning of the show that we have a mutual friend, Vincent Pastore. He's a wonderful person, mentor, and actor, and musician, you name it. And when I had the opportunity to work with him on the set of Who's Jenna, my daughter happened to be there one day, and they hit it off. Amanda has tremendous respect for him. He likes her. It's great. So I have a photo, and this is just it's something very personal to me and Amanda, of them sitting and eating lunch together. Love it.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
not your traditional celebrity side-by-side pose kind of situation, but it's a point in time where we will never forget that experience.
That's beautiful.
And that's more about my feeling. It's not to slam somebody or go out there and look for, 5 minutes of fame. I'm not like that.
Yeah, I think
never
that's
could
great.
be.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you for being on the Johnny Mandolin Show tonight. It's the fastest hour in radio. Tell once again, where can they find you? What's your website?
I would love for you guys to find me, Laura Madsen.
Spell.
Okay. Well, my first name is Laura. Last name is Madsen, Madsen, at my website, TheLadyinRedblog.com. If you can find me there, you can pretty much find me anywhere. But you can also get a quick glimpse of everything at A Lady in Red Who Writes on Facebook. You can look for me on Twitter at LadyInRedBlog. And I'm also on Instagram. If you find me on Twitter, trust me, you're going to find links that are linking directly to my whole Instagram situation.
That's great.
Please cyberstalk me. I don't mind.
There you go. Well, thank you for being on the Johnny Mandolin Show. I have one really important question for you.
Yes.
Will you come back?
I would love to. Thank you so
I'm
much
hold
for
you to
having
that.
me.
Thanks again. Thanks for listening to the Johnny Mandolin Show. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't touch that mouse. Right after me is the amazing Frank Rothstein. Up Front with Frank. Then we go to Los Angeles for Garage Mania. Thanks for being on City World Radio. Thank you, folks, and thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
If you served honorably in our nation's armed forces and you're looking for a way to continue serving your fellow veterans in your community, then join AMVETS. Each year, AMVETS members volunteer millions of hours at VA healthcare facilities from coast to coast, helping to improve the lives of their fellow veterans through the VA Voluntary Services Program. AMVETS posts and departments also participate in a wide variety of community service projects, ranging from Americanism in our schools to supporting the Special Olympics and Boy Scouts of America. If you no longer wear the uniform today, you can still serve through the AMVETS by joining today at amvets.org.
Hi, I'm Janice Ian. Do you remember how excited you were at the start of summer every year, and how the summer just started to drag on after a few months and you couldn't wait to get back to school, see your old friends, make new friends, get new books and a new locker and a clean slate? Well, you should have been excited about music class, too, because that was a special room where you went to sing, perform with your friends, and learn all kinds of interesting stuff about great composers, instruments, different kinds of music and songs. We remember our music teachers because they were so passionate about helping us learn to love music. They helped to spark a love for listening to notes and voices and rhythms that continues to enrich our lives even today. I bet your kids feel the same way about music class. Ask them, and make sure they get involved with music in school and in their lives.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, and the National Anthem Project, the campaign to restore America's voice through music education. Music, part of a sound education.
Voted #1 jazz cabaret club by New York Magazine, the Metropolitan Room is one of the most critically acclaimed venues in New York City and is known as the home for big-name talents and rising stars. Known as a celebrity hangout, the Metropolitan Room is a high-end cabaret and jazz club and brings the best in live music to New York City every night of the week. Fabulous award-winning Broadway, TV, film, and radio performers take the stage in an intimate 115-seat elegant venue. Aside from the great, highly professional artistic shows and audience, Metropolitan Room provides an exceptional appetizer and dessert menu as well as exotic and specialty drinks prepared by top New York City bartenders. The Metropolitan Room is located at 34 West 22nd Street, conveniently located near public transportation. For information or reservations, call area code 212-206-0440. Once again, the area code is 212-206-0440. Or go to their website at www.metropolitanroom.com.